Hello again, and thanks for listening to our Life at the Lake Campus podcast, where we've been interviewing some students here on campus that have some diverse experiences. So today I'm going to be interviewing Joelle De Lisle. She is a sophomore here in the psychology department. She's from New Knoxville, and she also is a member of our Student Success Center. So we'll hopefully hit on all of that today. So Joelle, thanks for agreeing to do this for us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so you're the first student that we've interviewed so far that isn't really like right there on the edge of graduation. So I was kind of hoping that you could kind of give us some information on the other side of college. So since you're in your second year here, it should be kind of fresh for you. So could you kind of explain to any incoming students what was that transition like from high school to college, where instead of going to class all day every day, now it's much more on you to be responsible and be the one sticking to a schedule?
It's a big adjustment for time management. There's not someone telling you exactly where to go or what to do all the time. You have your basic class schedule, but your assignments, studying, everything, managing your classwork is not laid out for you as much as it is in high school. So it's more on you to figure out how you're going to do well in classes.
So was that kind of a difficult process, or is it something that really, once you get going, it kind of becomes second nature?
Yeah, I think my first year it was an easier transition because the classes were pretty similar to high school, so course load was a little bit more, but not much difference in like time management. I think my second year, once I got more into major specific courses, it was a little bit more on me, and it was an adjustment more between my first and second year than graduating high school into my freshman year.
All right, so I know I think last semester was the first time I considered having you as a student, but I know I had you in an online class before that. So, what is the main difference in your eyes between taking classes online where you don't have any set meet times versus the in-person classes? And then have you ever had any classes that were online that were synchronous, where you actually were supposed to be there at a certain time?
I haven't had any synchronous classes. They've all been asynchronous. Whenever you do them is when you do them. But I think the biggest thing was almost treating it like an in-person class, where I figured out picking a time every week to just sit down and do it. So for me, that's like I do my online class Mondays between my first and second class. That's just when I get it done. I have like a 2-hour time frame where watch the lectures, take notes, do whatever assignments go with that week. And it was kind of hard to manage. Like I had multiple classes online one semester. That was not fun for me, just not how I work. I work better with a schedule where I have to be somewhere to watch the lecture, but I think I figured out a system that works for me, where treat it like an in-person class almost and get it done in a certain time frame, and that helped me a lot.
So I know you just said that you have a lot of scheduling. You like to base your stuff around a schedule, I guess I should say. But I know some of the allure to an online class is being able to have that flexibility. So have you ever had experiences with that in any of your courses?
The flexibility is nice because maybe if you work or like you have a not so set schedule every week, like you have a different work schedule, or your classes are, you have an exam in one class, so you want to push off the online class for that week. That part of it is nice because you don't necessarily have to be somewhere to do something. You can do it at night or whenever you're free. But the flexibility is nice, but I think the routine is also helpful to kind of hold yourself accountable.
I've heard that from so many different students. It's just getting into that routine is really what kind of keeps them driven throughout the semester. So I want to change gears a little bit here, because part of the reason we've been doing these little podcast episodes is to try to get students familiar with other things going on around campus. And I know that you work in the Student Success Center. So would you mind kind of telling us a little bit about what the Student Success Center is, and then also what you do there?
Yeah, it's a room in Andrews Hall, and it's basically a tutoring center. Whatever you need help with, there's probably a tutor there to help, and if not, we'll try to figure it out with you. But we offer like different students specialize or that have done well in different subjects. So like I'm an English tutor, I know there's someone in there that does English and nursing. There's different like business, math. A lot of people that have taken a lot of classes, they can help you if like a professor does something different and you're not used to that learning style or setup or whatever, they might be able to help you. You can either walk in, and if someone is there that has your expertise of whatever subject you need help with, then you can just do a walk-in appointment. If not, you can schedule one. We have like an individual study / exam room in there that's nice if you just need somewhere quiet to take an exam or be by yourself and focus on your work. If you have an appointment, we do have snacks. That's a big draw. But it's really nice. It's just somewhere where you can meet with peers, talk out classes, understand your work better, work towards, whatever your goal is in that class.
So how is it that you ended up coming across this job? Is it just something that you kind of stumbled upon? Did you see it posted somewhere?
Well, they emailed me because I had, I guess, done well and met some criteria in my English class where I was eligible to apply for an English tutor position. So they sent me the link through Dayton, which got all messed up. But then I got to talk to. They sent me to Jamon Flowers, who's the librarian here, and he was super helpful. Set me up with a interview and everything. Basically, just talked to him, talked about what the job is, and gave him my schedule, and it was pretty straightforward. But yeah.
So something I haven't got to bring up yet that I know from your past is that you didn't actually come in as a psych major, right? You kind of came in undeclared. So there are a lot of students that get really worried when they are at the edge of high school and they don't know what they want to do yet, but clearly it seemed to work out pretty well for you. So can you kind of give us your experience with that?
Yeah, I came in undecided. I stayed that way all through my freshman year until I took my intro to psych class. I loved it. I was kind of between, I think, business and psych, and then I took that class and I was like, okay, that's all I really need to know. And I decided, but it's not like the end of the world if you switch. I know so many people that have switched majors. I think I came in as a business major, and then like a week before I started classes, I switched to undecided because I didn't want to take business classes. So I think it's smart. If you don't know exactly what you want to do, don't put pressure on yourself. You'll get the intro classes, you'll get the prereqs, and you'll kind of figure out what you want to do along the way.
Yeah, so there's kind of plenty of time built in at the front of your schedule to allow that wiggle room. So I've been asking some other students about their experiences just here in general. So we always mention how we're kind of being a regional college, we're smaller. So I enjoy that aspect because it really gives me the opportunity to get to actually know my students really well. So I see you guys in the hallways or in different rooms. I can chit chat with you. If I see you out in public, I can say hey. But it also allows me to kind of tailor what I do to fit your guys' needs to help you out finding different experiences and stuff. So is there anything in terms of like the size of the Lake campus or different endearing qualities that you really tend to either gravitate towards or that you might even find not so beneficial?
Yeah, I really like how the transition wasn't so extreme from, like, I graduated with, I think, 25 people, something like that. So I don't think I've had a class here bigger than 25 people. Most of them are a lot smaller than that. So it's nice to get to know your peers in the classes and like build relationships with them, especially within your major, because you'll have a lot of classes with the same people. And then your professors also, it's nice to like get to know them a little bit and feel less intimidated when like you need to ask a question, like you need to go back over something or whatever it may be. It's a lot easier to build relationships with them because there's not so many people that are kind of needing their attention, or to the point where like you just don't get any attention from the professor, I guess. So that part of it is nice. I mean, there's of course like downsides that you can come up with to not going away to college, or if you live on campus, like not going to a big university, but I think it's kind of more beneficial to have the smaller class sizes, more of a community feel. That part of it's really nice.
Say outside of that, you mentioning just going to the bigger campuses, like I know just from talking to students here and also my own experiences, going to the large campus and going away, it's so much more expensive. Like you don't think about a lot of the little stuff like paying utility bills and groceries every week and on top of just room and board. Like there's a lot more to it. So that's one of the huge perks I hear students talk about here at Lake Campus is when you come here, you end up graduating with little to no debt. So that's a huge benefit that we have here. So the one last thing I want to ask you is a version of what I always wrap up these things with. Being that you were freshly-ish out of high school still, what piece of advice would you give to any students who are possible CCP students right now or students who are looking into coming here soon?
I would say manage your time, build your time management skills kind of now while you're in high school. Some people, like their senior year is super easy. So for those people, I would say like just don't lose your kind of time management. Don't lose your studying skills, everything that where you're holding yourself accountable for it, because you're going to need that in the next year or two. And then be patient with yourself, because it is a transition. Whether you go to a big university or you go somewhere like here, it's going to be a transition. You're more independent and on your own. So I'd say just figure out your routine, what works for you, and talk to other students, make friends here, get involved with whatever you can. Just have a good time, because it's college. Even if it's not a big school, it's still college. It can still be fun.
Like we were just talking about right before we started recording this, like we got a lot more things going on here. So even though it's not like the big campus thing, we got a lot of cool, fun events going on, and you definitely practice what you preach, because you've gotten out there and you've gotten involved a lot already. So kudos to you on that. All right, so that's everything I'm going to have for you today. So again, thank you very much for agreeing to do this. I know it's not easy to get here and talk in front of a bunch of people and be listening, but you did a great job.
Thanks.
All right, so like I keep ending all these with, if there's anybody that you want me to interview, or if there are any questions you feel like need to be asked that I haven't asked yet, I'm all ears. Just send those recommendations to joshua.ricker@wright.edu, and I will talk to everybody with our next podcast.